and it is a tool which is a point-to-point. You need Connect Direct to be installed on both the ends to transfer a file. Okay, this is a point-to-point file transfer tool, and this is a very secure one. And you can say this will be, once you install Connect Direct, you don't have to worry about it. Once you did the configuration, it will be you don't have to intervene. I mean, it is totally automated. So unless there is any external issues, you will be having works, or else the files will be moving as you planned. So this is like unmanned operation for 24/365, and it has got a good assured delivery, and you cannot lose data in Connect. When you use Connect Direct, you will never lose a data, and the data security is also very good, and the connectivity with other enterprises like the other enterprises like Tivoli, there is connections now. The Connect Direct is improving a lot. It is getting connected to so many tools, and so that you can actually use data transferred to many applications. You will have plugins for that, and the performance also, it will be, you can tune the performance, and there are things which I will tell you in future. Okay, that there are something which is called a checkpoint, so that can be used to increase your performance. And the data, when you consider the data, you can transfer any type of data, and either it can be a media file or a text file to anything. You can say everything can be done, and it works on a TCP/IP. That is a protocol it is using, and that is never breached. And there are other protocols also like FAST, which is coming in, and you can see that in future in Connect Direct. And this will be used in, this is a key component in the sense the managed file transfer means file transfer which is B2B. Do you know B2B integrator? That in that also we will be having this tool. So to give a history of it, Connect Direct was initially built in 1984, and that is renamed in 1993 as Connect Direct. Before that, it was called as NDM, Network Data Mover. Okay, and in 2006, it is certified for a NIST, that is a for security. It has got a certification stating this is a best tool to transfer the files. And this is a history of it, and some features which I can say Connect Direct is a flexible security options, in the sense you can either have tight security, or you can don't have to check for some IP address or things. You can control that level of options are there in the tool to allow more security and have less security. Internally, you don't have to have much security, internal connections, but external, when you send a data to a third party, you need more security. They may expect more security. So at that time, you can use all the security features. Other than that, if it is internal, you can use less security. And it also has a cryptographic solution, that is, we have public key encryptions is going on, so that we can use, and that is the best as far as I know. It is the best one, and that is available in Connect Direct. And so the data connection is like automatic. As I said earlier, it will have unmanned connections. Whenever you want to send a data, you can just run a process, and it will, if it is already configured, it will take the data to the specified S node. That is the secondary node, whichever you want to communicate. And the sessions, if you say some network interruptions or anything, if it is disconnected, The retry is also done automatically. And the data, whatever, if you say, like if you have a 10 GB data and you have sent 5 GB, and at that time there is some interruption, you will not have to start the transfer again, because this connect direct automatically reconnects and gets the data, whatever is transferred. It will start from the one which is interrupted, and it will bring the next part of the data to the other side. So this is like, you don't lose any data. That is the reliability we have here. And yeah, the process definition, the connect direct has got a process language and the scripting. So that is the main thing which we will need to know. And if that is done, your part is easy. So you can also have a watch directory. Watch directory in the sense, you might be dropping a file in one directory, and this is the thing which you will be doing, and once it is set up. So this directory will be watched by Connect Direct file agent, and the file agent will pick the data, and that will take the data via the process, the Connect Direct process, to the destination, whatever scripted in the process definition. So that is what it is, easy to use. That's what it is mentioned. And we have a browser interface also to administer. And this is again another feature for the users of Connect Direct. People normally don't use browser user interface for administration. And non-UI, non-UI interface. That is this CLI means uh, client utility. That is uh, interface which is used to communicate. I mean, you as a user, computer user, you need to communicate to the tool. So there is a interface which allows you to communicate to the tool. That is CLI. And API is the one which is used to communicate to the other applications. And yeah, the statistical logs, which is the whatever the data it is transferred or whatever the process it has run, everything is captured in a statistical logs. So you will not miss anything, any step. So everything is there in the logs. So you can investigate. It will help you for investigation of any transfer happening there. So this is basically logs they are talking about. And network resources and yeah, this is like data transfer performance, that as I said, like this is a checkpoint we have, and that will be helpful for you to optimize the transfer. And next point is optional data compression. Yeah, we have another feature. It is like, you can, when you're sending, you can also compress the data and send it to that. This is done by Connect Direct. You can it is optional actually. If you want to compress the data, you can compress, or you can send it as such. So this is again part of a user's demand. If they want, they can do it. And so this is again the same thing, which is all types of data can be exchanged. Whatever the content, we can do the transfer. That is the feature of Connect Direct. And if you see what are the operating system Connect Direct supports, it is ZOS, Unix. In Unix, we have 4 flavors: Sun, Solaris, and HP, Unix, AIX, and Linux. And Windows, Microsoft Windows is which is also used. And Open VMS, HP Nonstop Tandem, VM, VSC, and iSeries. So this is the basic of Connect Direct. Whatever the Connect Direct is, this can be the introduction. Do you have any doubts here? If you take you to another level of, I mean, I don't want to get into deep of Connect Direct now. Uh, So these are all the interfaces which is used by Connect Direct. Okay, as I said, web browser people will be less used, and but this will be what to say, like a console, web console, which it will be pleasing for you to see. But most of the Connect Direct administrators will be using Requester in Windows and CLI in Unix area. So this is the basic thing which Connect Direct admins will be doing. So the requester, via requester, you can perform, you can write a process, you can check the logs, you can configure net maps and user profiles, proxies, and you can switch on the traces. So everything you can do it in via requester. Similarly, you can do the same in command line interface. You cannot edit the net map and things. Like in Unix, it is different. But in command line interface, you can issue commands to like statistical commands, and you can change some process which is running. These things you can do it here in CLI. So this is a basic concept how a CD works. Okay. So this in this, like whoever starts the CD, he will be a P node. I mean, like if you are in a Unix server, Unix system, you have installed Connect Direct, and if you are going to send a file from Unix system to a Windows system, you will be having a process based on your Unix environment, and that will be a Connect Direct process. And when you submit a process, you will be the one who is initiating the process. So you are the P node, the primary node. So when you initiate a connection, it will try to reach the S node here, and the connection will be established. Once the connection is established, you will have other steps in your process, which will be either a run task, a run job, or a copy step, whatever. Based on your program, this action will be taken care. So if you are copying a file from a Unix node to a Windows node, when you submit a process in your Unix side, the process will be executed in your CLI, and that will take the files whichever you mentioned as a source file, and it will fetch the file and takes to the other node, which it could be in Unix or Windows, any other S node, whatever the secondary node you have mentioned in your script, it will take it to the other side, and it will drop, and the process will be completed. So this is how CD works actually. And usages. So there is concepts like local node terms.
P node is the record
P node is the primary node.
will be submitted and to send files, and the S node is to pull the files, receive the files.
Yeah, receive the file.
Right?
It can. Yeah, this
so
is a
receive
concept.
the files also. There also they will be submitting any process.
See, if the P node and S node is a concept, okay. P node is the one who is initiating the process,
Yeah,
and
the
S node.
process number will be 1 or 2.
Sorry.
No, see, in Windows platform, I'm submitting one file. I'm sending one file. So here one process is submitted. Same in the S node, there will be submitting one more process, no, to receive the file.
No. This is the same process, right? Like the process number will be the same in both the nodes.
Same.
Yeah,
Okay.
same
Okay.
process number.
Fine.
So you submit here, because the same process is going to run on the other side with the same process number. Process number will be unique. You can have process name repeated, but the process number for each process will be unique. With that process number only, you will be able to trace and work on the investigation, whatever you want to do. It is via process number in Connect Direct. The P node doesn't mean that this is a source actually. Okay, P node is a concept which says like it initiates the transfer. or it initiate the process. The transfer, if you say the file is in my remote side, I want to bring it to the pnode side. This can also happen. This is called pull. Okay. So when you have your source on the primary node, that is called push. You are pushing a file from your primary node to the secondary node, that is a remote node. That is push, and the concept of pull and push works here. I mean, like, you have to understand here what is pull and push. If the source file is in local, that is the primary, and it is moving to the remote, this is push. And when the source file is in the remote and you are bringing it here, that is pull. So this is a concept actually. You will be using it when you know connect direct. You will not be mentioning anything. I mean, you will not be, but the concept you will be understanding. But the coding wise, when you do it, you will be doing it as it goes, because you will be familiar with the thing. So, but the basic concept is this. And there is two level of authentications here. Like, one, you need to have the netmap entry, netmap configuration, and the second level is the user creation in the user. So that is what it is mentioned here: create users with appropriate roles and permission. It can, if you want
users to be created for what, like at the connector level, connect direct level,
correct, yeah. In connect direct level, you have to create it. You
the user.
You might have a user locally created in Unix, and you have to allow this particular user to be a connect direct user. Every Unix user can be a connect direct user. You have to, if you want a user, say CD admin, to be a connect direct user, you have to put an entry as local user, and that name should be CD admin. So if you have that in
netmap privilege, what kind of privilege to be given to netmap?
In netmap, you will have this node name added, and in that you have the IP address, TCP IP, and the port number. So this is like you're allowing.
So you mean to say, like, only based on netmap we can find the scope of area where it's going to transfer, right?
Yeah.
Beyond the no, which is not mentioned in the netmap, it won't go beyond to that. The transfer won't be happen.
Yeah,
only whichever the node which is defined in the netmap, only within the scope you can find the architecture, the structure which is where it is scope to send the files.
Exactly. See, if you have a node, say A, your node name, node name is A. So this is for example, okay, and you want to talk to three other systems, B, C, D, okay. So if you want to connect to B and C and D, you should have this B, C, D entry in your A's netmap entry. So that it will allow to transfer file from A to B, A to B, A to C, A to D. This can happen. And one more thing is that the netmap check is there. Netmap check, if you have yes, and if you mark it as yes, that is a parameter. If you have that, it will check for the netmap. Netmap in the sense the node name will be checked, IP address will be checked. So these things, I'll tell you how to configure that now. Okay, so that you can also allow some transfers which doesn't check anything. Whoever comes, it will allow. There is also features like that. As I said, like, it is flexible and it is optional. Whatever, like the security also you can change. If you want, you can have full security, or else you can allow anything. It can also allow. It's like it is only if it is an internal node. People will be having these features. It is not advisable, but you can use.
Okay.
So this is the process language level, and we will see that later, because this is.
No. I have some basic idea. You can go ahead with because I'm interested to know this. What is that? Run job, run task.
Yeah, run job and
Process
run.
what we are going to submit. Copy in the sense like taking an image copy from
Yeah, these are all the
performing
steps.
transfer from source and destination both have the copy.
In your process
And as
language,
you said,
in the process language, you have a structure. Okay. Uh,
okay.
have you done any coding? So if you know, there will be a structure for any program. It's like that.
Yes,
So
yes.
you have a process and a process name, and you can have either this process can have a copy statement, run job, or run task. So these things you
Hmm.
can. That is what is
Okay.
mentioned. Mostly the
What
copy
what is the use of this run job? Like what it mean like run job?
run job is
Submitting
like
a job.
no, it's not like that. Run job and run task, I'll tell you the difference. But both the things are used to run a script, basically external script. It need not be a connect direct script. It can run an external shell script or a batch file, whatever. If you have copied a file, okay, and then
Okay.
you want to do some housekeeping work. So in that environment, either it can be Unix or a Windows side. In Windows, people will be writing batch jobs. In Unix, there will be shell scripts. So with that, you want to, once the file has dropped, you want to take a copy of the destination file. This can be done in most of the, I'm just giving you a live scenario. Some in banks and any other banks or insurance companies, like people will be doing this housekeeping with the run task or run job. Okay. And so this will execute external script, basically. That is what I would say. It is not the job in the sense it can be a
So
script.
this is calling the external script. When
Yeah,
I say run job, within
run
a
job.
program, it is calling no external script. Run task is what it means. It is
Yeah, there
calling
is
in
a
a
difference.
no. It is referring to some other OS.
No. Both are same. Only difference is
Okay.
this run task will wait for the whatever you have given a script, shell script. Okay, say the copy
Okay.
step, run task, and you have a copy step. Okay, it is your program is structured like this. When you have a
Okay.
copy, you have done a copy. Okay, after that, this run task is executing a script. Okay, after that, you have a copy step. So this program connected process will wait for the run task to complete whatever it's written, whatever the written value, whatever the output of your script, external script, it will wait for that, and then it will proceed to the next copy step. If you have a run job,
Okay.
then it will not wait for that. It will just execute the script, whatever may be, like either it can be a positive output of the script or a negative output of the script. The run job, it will just executes and it will proceed to the next copy step. You got the point. It will actually wait for the output, asynchronous.
Okay.
So that is the main thing. Like run job, people will not use because if it has failed, it will continue to do the next steps and it will connect there. It will say that it is success, irrespective of the
Okay.
external scripts output.
See, this script we have, know what where we are going to write the script. Like the
It's
script says like whether to copy something like that instead to copy.
which one you're asking? I
No,
didn't get you.
these process copy runs are these statement we will be using in the
Process.
where we will be using no
Yeah,
writing
this
the
will
script
be,
actually.
this will be inside connect direct process
Okay.
definition.
Process definition. Okay.
So you will be having
So each and every process will tell like what kind of operation it has to perform, right? I
yeah,
have seen the
correct.
process number, but the process number will say
Hmm.
like only these script will say what it is going to do, whether it's going to copy or whether it's going to
Yeah, that
what
you
it is
can.
going to perform.
If you know the process, you can process number.
Okay.
You can select
Okay.
select the process
So
in
that
CL.
script can be used in these kind of what you call native symbols, right? These are all.
What is native symbol? I mean, I didn't get you.
I mean, in Rio's level, they are using these kind of commands to how to code a script.
This CDP, it is not like any other scripts. The CDP
Okay.
is run in CLI. Only Connect Direct will run the Connect Direct process.
Okay. Okay. I
So
got you. I got you.
Connect Direct will have this process executed, and these are all the steps will be in. These are the possible steps you can say. Connect Direct
We
process.
can see on the script of the process. Okay. Begin which is running on
Yeah, you can do
process.
that. Yeah, if it is in queue, you can give view process and the process name or the process number. That will show you the script. If it is